Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Esoteric Ramblings. I'm Jesse Arnold. Today I'm going to be doing a toy review of the new Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise Centurion drone from Hasbro Pulse. That is a mouthful of a character name to spit out for the beginning of my review with nothing written down in front of me to read. So before I jump into the Centurion drone, I want to do a quick, not necessarily full review, but just kind of show off, I guess, of the also Hasbro Star Wars Black Series clone Phase 1 clone lieutenant from Attack of the Clones. It does have the new #1 sequence on there for the Attack of the Clone lines. I think the only other one in this series so far is the officially announced today just generic clone trooper, Phase 1 clone trooper that's just all white. So without any further ado, here is Clone Lieutenant with the blue markings. I saw some people posting online that they thought the paint job was pretty shoddy, and maybe at first glance that would be accurate, but I believe that was intentional to look like wear and tear on the paint and the armor. I'm not sure if this is the new mold or not, because I thought I saw some stuff that the shoulder pads were a little more flexible on the new mold for the clone trooper, so maybe the standard one is and this one's not, but seems like if they're in the same wave they would be the same. But anyway, that's a really cool figure. It is my first non-character clone. Actually, Captain Rex is the only clone trooper I have at the moment, so I was pretty excited to get a Phase 1 figure to go along with the rest of my Star Wars stuff. So, without any further ado, I will transition to my Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy, Earthrise Deluxe Centurion drone. It is Earthrise, like I said, it is E33 for any of you that care about the numbering on there, over here. And I love these cardboard kind of graffiti style packaging for the exclusives. I believe the Soundwave Spymaster pack is what it's called, with the 4 cassettes came in a similar box. Oh, this box is pretty cool. I like the designs inside. It's got a display of all the accessories that you've got there, and that cool grid pattern and that hex pattern on the bottom. Figure came in that with its clear blister pack, the instructions underneath, and this cool black and white box with the same hex pattern. Now both boxes have Autobot insignia on it, whereas the instructions have a Decepticon logo on it, and my memory of who this character is a little foggy at the moment, but it is basically a repaint of the Decepticon Brute figure that came out last year, I believe. I decided to transform this one into its alt mode, so it is this kind of missile launcher tank design. It is one of the weaponizers, so you could also take it apart and put it onto some of the other ports and things on the other Transformers, but I'm going to keep that one out as just kind of a weapon since it is the drone. So I'm not sure. I'll have to do a little research on that to see if this is in fact an Autobot or Decepticon, if it really matters, because I can do my display however I want, and you know, that's what really matters at the end of the day. What looks cool on your shelf, or in this case, what I think looks cool on my shelf. Let's see where to start. So I'll put up some pictures over here on the website for Hasbro Pulse. They have under this figure, they have a list of, I believe it's 3 pages of what the different accessories are, from Optimus Prime's blaster to Megatron's Energon mace and all these other different things. So I've gone through and added still photos of the actual pieces on top of the original schematic art, just to kind of show off what they look like, and some of them are a little different in scale and proportions, but they all look really cool. A few things confuse me about some of the accessories, and we'll get to that as we go. But yeah, the figure itself is pretty cool. Like I said, it's just a repaint of the purple Brute. He's got like the claw tread hands, and I just thought it would be more fun to have this piece out instead of another robot. First up, I'll do the roller for Optimus Prime in his trailer. So it's got the wheels, and it does have a little port on the back for it to plug into the pegs, and one on top, which I don't have Trailbreaker at the moment. So I'm going to put the antenna radar dish on that, and this will probably go with my Optimus Prime Earthrise with the trailer, and just have that on display, something like that. Could have it coming down off the ramp. It'll sit like that. So we'll see how I'll display that. But there's that. And next up are the Energon cubes. These are one of the pieces that confuse me a little bit. So we've got both of these, and it looks like in the pictures on the graph here, the schematics, that there's supposed to be a little port coming out of the bottom, I'm assuming for characters to hold them. And I don't know if I'm missing pieces. I looked through the bag several times and the rest of the box. I could not find it. But here's the Energon cubes. This one's got like the wave pattern, like it's filling up. This one's just solid with some little bubbles in it. They both have hollow backs, but they also both have these little holes in the bottom. I'm trying to see if those will show up, that fit the small pegs on the characters, but they fit in like a weird way. So for example, I've got the Earthrise Prime here, and you've got the little port on his shoulder here, which the box will kind of snap on there, but it's just really weird. Like, I don't know how these are supposed to go. Yeah, but they're cool. I like them. Again, I'm probably just gonna have them sitting out, like stacked somewhere to look like they're fighting over them. But they are pretty cool pieces to have, even if I don't know how to properly use them. Next up is Ravage's cage. So it's like a solid black, but it's like a translucent black. So the paint looks like it was filled in. I don't know if the light's not catching this quite right. But Ravage, of course, does not come with this. He came with a laser beak pack. And I'm not going to open it, but the crate, it's got a split across it here, and it opens up. Well, I am going to open up because I'm not leaving Ravage in there. And it's got a staggered thing with the pegs to slide together, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to snap them off. And it's got like a little lock thing there, and ports on the top for whatever weapons or things you want to put in the port there. Up next, the micro cassette, or the mini Soundwave. Light might not be that great, but it is blue and gray. It does have a hollow opening back. Now I'm assuming maybe a hand will fit in there or something. It also has a little tiny peg on the bottom, but most of the pegs are on shoulders in weird places, so it wouldn't like sit up. It would be at a side or a weird angle. But again, as long as you have a flat surface, you can set it on it, for example, on top of the cage. But it's cool that they have it scaled down to size. This is probably the weirdest one. It might be the hardest thing to see on camera here. They did a 2-scale Optimus Prime non-transforming minifigure. It is essentially a little plastic chip. It's very thin, it's very delicate. I will probably be putting this in a storage bin with other accessories so as not to lose it. But it's supposed to be 2-scale to the HasLab Unicron, which I'm not getting that thing. That thing is a monster. It's amazing, but yeah, so you get a little mini 2-scale Optimus Prime. Next two things that'll show up next are because I don't know where to put them at the moment. First one is Bumblebee's blaster, just because the Earthrise Bumblebee has not arrived yet. Should be coming in a couple weeks, so it'll be nice to give him his classic blaster. Now a lot of these pieces are just like flat gray as far as the weapons go, so I may go through and do some paint detailing on them to give them a little bit of life beyond just that flat gray. Let's see, up next is the Megatron transformed blaster. The silencer piece does fit off. Of course, I can't do it now. So you got the regular gun, and then the blaster. It does have a very specific port to go over the sight on the pistol. So there's that, and it does have the peg on the end for some of the blast effects. They come with the different figures. We'll go small and work our way up. Next up is Cliff Jumper, and this blaster, so the gray piece here, came in this set. That, of course, came with one of the Battlemasters pieces, and this is, of course, one of his regular weapons. I've got the rest of his guns stashed on his back there, but this looks a little better than the big bazooka-looking thing he had. So yeah, it's cool to have some more of the G1 style designs for these characters. Next up is Sideswipe with his jetpack. So the jetpack fits nicely onto his back. It's got two holes, or two pegs to fit into the ports. So this bottom one fits nicely into the back of Sideswipe. This definitely needs a paint job. Like, that needs to look cooler than just flat gray. It also fits nicely on the back of the Earthrise Prime that doesn't have the bulky back. You do have to... Ooh, my light just died. You do have to open the wheels on the back, and it's the upper peg up here that fits into this hole. It's a little snug over his bump there, but it also fits there. For that classic scene from those early episodes where he takes off after the Decepticons. Alright, up next is Ironhide and his drill blaster. Fits nice right in there. I decided to transform his other weapon into its hammer mode. So he's kind of got like the blue collar workman laborer tool weapon set going on there, the drill and the hammer. So anyway, there's Ironhide with the drill. And now I'm starting to question as to not whether that was ratchets or not. I don't remember. Alright, a couple more left. Soundwave, he's got two of the pieces attached to him here. We've got the transformed Shockwave as a blaster. That definitely needs some purple paint, and it also has the port on the end for a blast effect. And the transform combined refractor camera, it also has a peg to go in the hands, but he's got his hands full, so I just stuffed it on the side of his leg for the video purposes. Some of the pegs on these are really tight, especially in these earlier Siege figures. The few Earthrise figures I have feel like there's a little more give on the ports, and especially Optimus Prime's blaster does not fit very nicely into or at least the version I have, the Siege hand for Optimus Prime is very tight, and it's, just to avoid breaking anything, I'm not pushing it all the way in for the video, so it's probably going to go in the Earthrise figure. But for the video, I wanted to have him and Megatron, since they're both the Siege versions, with their Energon weapons and everything. So you can see there, Megatron, it's got the, I don't know if that's going to pick up, but it's got the Decepticon logo on the hand grip there. Again, this is really tight in here, and his wrist is pretty flimsy. I've sadly stuck some paper in there to keep his wrist from falling completely over. But it is really cool. That bright purple Energon effect is great. for that, and I have Optimus Prime staged facing off directly with him with his now massive blaster and his Energon axe, which that fits pretty nicely into his hand, and his hand does turn, so it fits in there a lot nicer. That nice translucent color. And just for effect, here's the original Siege blaster compared to that one. So it has, you know, some of the elements of the design in it, but this one is obviously much bigger, more detailed. And like I said, it doesn't fit all the way in, so that one's not going to stay. I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but... Nope, okay, it didn't do it. It was making this horrible squeaking when I tried to remove it from the hand earlier. And just to show you, partially because the Earthrise has the finger grip, it's got a little more flexibility, kind of like a Lego, to snap into the thumb grip there, and then you can put the rest of the fingers around. And there it is. So I keep my Earthrise Prime on display with a shelf of kind of some actual retro toys, other toys that just remind me of my childhood and different things. So he goes out there. The other two, the two Siege ones, Prime and Megatron, go on the big Transformers display. So that's it. That's my rundown on this War for Cybertron Centurion drone accessory pack. I believe it is still available on Hasbro Pulse. I'll probably pop a little comment up here if I'm right or wrong, at least as of today. We will see. It's pretty cool. Definitely worth it if you like the accessories, tricking out your characters to look a little more G1, a little more retro. And it's a lot of fun. And it's just cool to have the scaled down versions of like Megatron and the Soundwave gun, or excuse me, Shockwave. I'll have both of those two on display pretty much all the time. Otherwise, I'd put the Megatron in Starscream's hand. So yeah, maybe if I ever do some like photography shots or something, I'll use those. But it's just cool to have them, and it was a great price point for the item. So I think I got it when they revealed it during the what would have been San Diego Comic-Con back in July, and it was $20. I think it's up to 30 now. I think they just had it as 20 for a limited time. But anyway, 20, 30 bucks. Either way, it's a great deal. You get a fully functional figure in the drone, completely transformable. It's great. Like I said, it's just a silver repaint of Brute, and you can add him to your Autobot or Decepticon side, or use him as the tank. And all the accessories are a lot of fun. Oh, I forgot to say, I just noticed this because the way it's pointing at me. It's really cool, the detail on the inside of the jetpack, and it does have ports on the bottom of that for... I'm going to take that blast effect out of Megatron's gun. And you can do the rocket pack with the flames. So for those of you who are really into the toy photography, these do offer a lot of really cool options for enhancing that effect and stuff. I'm pretty sure some of you who do photography will find some cool things to do with those Energon weapons, with your lighting and all that stuff. So anyway, that's it. My ramble is over for the night. I was going to do my G.I. Joe classified series rundown, but the drone came in today and there was so much to do there. I decided to do that instead. So G.I. Joe will be coming soon, and I'll do a quick rundown on the whole Hasbro Pulse Con thing, probably on Sunday afternoon or Monday night. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, any questions, please leave it down below. Any likes and subscriptions would be great. Helps me know if you like the stuff I'm doing. That's it. Happy toy hunting out there, and let me know what your thoughts are. Until next time.